When I talk about the power of dictation, I am not just talking about a learning technique. I am talking about a transformation that happens quietly, almost invisibly, but it changes everything about the way you listen, the way you speak, and the way you think in a language that is not your own. Most people struggle with English, not because they are not intelligent, not because they are not capable, but because they are trying to learn it in a way that disconnects them from natural flow. They memorize rules, they memorize grammar structures, they memorize vocabulary lists, but when it comes to speaking, everything disappears. The mind goes blank, the tongue feels heavy, and confidence breaks before the first word even comes out. Dictation is different. Dictation forces you to connect sound with meaning, meaning with writing, and writing with speech. It creates a bridge between your ears and your mouth. And when that bridge becomes strong, English stops being a subject and starts becoming a habit. Imagine a child learning their mother tongue. Nobody gives them grammar books. Nobody forces them to memorize tenses. They listen, they repeat, they make mistakes, they correct, they listen again. That is dictation in its purest form. It is natural learning. It is human learning. And if you want to learn English fluently, you must return to that same natural process. Let me take you into a simple moment. You are sitting alone with your phone or notebook. You play a small English sentence. Maybe something like, I am going to improve my life every single day. You listen carefully. Not once, not twice. You listen 3 times. You feel the rhythm. You feel the pauses. You notice how each word flows into the next. Then you pause the audio. And now, you try to write exactly what you heard. At first, it feels difficult. You may miss words. You may confuse spelling. You may feel frustrated. But something powerful is happening inside your brain. Your ears are becoming active learners. Your attention is sharpening. You are no longer passively hearing English. You are actively decoding it. That is where transformation begins. Most learners stay passive forever. They watch English videos. They listen to English songs. They enjoy movies, but they never engage deeply. Dictation forces engagement. It forces your brain to slow down and process every sound. Now let's go deeper. After you write the sentence, you compare it with the original. You see your mistakes. Maybe you missed going to and wrote gonna. Maybe you spelled improve incorrectly. Maybe you skipped every single day. This moment is not failure. This moment is education at its highest level. Because now your brain knows exactly what it missed, and it will not miss it again so easily. Then comes the next step. Speaking. You read the correct sentence aloud, slowly at first, then again, then faster, then with emotion. Then you try to say it without looking. You are not just reading anymore, you are speaking. And slowly, something magical happens. Your tongue starts to remember what your mind has learned. This is how fluency is born. Let me tell you something important. Fluency is not about knowing English. Fluency is about reacting in English without translation. Dictation removes translation. It forces direct connection. You hear English, you write English, you speak English. No middle language, no delay, just flow. Now imagine doing this for 10 minutes every day. One short paragraph, one small audio clip, one simple exercise. In the beginning, it feels slow, but after a week, your listening improves. After 2 weeks, your spelling improves. After 1 month, your speaking confidence starts to rise. After 3 months, people start noticing that you are no longer searching for words. You are speaking naturally. And this is where the real change begins. Not in English alone, but in you. Because when you train yourself through dictation, you are also training discipline. You are training patience. You are training focus. You are teaching your mind how to stay with something until it becomes clear. These are not just language skills, these are life skills. Let me give you a real example. A learner once said, "I understand English, but I cannot speak." This is one of the most common problems. And I told them, stop learning passively, start dictation. Start small, start with one sentence. For example, "I believe in my ability to grow." They listened, they wrote, they corrected, they repeated. At first, they struggled even with simple sentences, but they continued. Every day, just 10 to 15 minutes. After 2 weeks, they could hear English more clearly. After 1 month, they started speaking small sentences without fear. After 2 months, they started forming their own ideas in English, not memorized, not copied, their own thoughts. This is the power of dictation. And let me be honest with you, most people avoid it because it feels slow. It feels simple. It feels like it is not advanced enough. But that is the mistake. The most powerful things in life are often the simplest. Walking is simple. Breathing is simple. But without them, nothing works. Dictation works in the same way. It builds your foundation. Now, I want you to understand something very deeply. Listening is not just hearing sound. Listening is decoding meaning. When you practice dictation, your ears become trained. You start noticing things you never noticed before. You begin to hear contractions, pauses, stress, tone. You start understanding how native speakers actually speak, not how English is written in textbooks. For example, you might hear, "I am gonna do it." At first, your brain is confused, but through dictation practice, you start recognizing patterns. You understand that gonna is going to. You start connecting spoken language with written language, and slowly confusion disappears. Speaking improves naturally because you are not guessing anymore. You are reproducing real sounds that you have trained your ear to recognize. Now let's talk about confidence. Confidence in English does not come from perfection. It comes from familiarity. When something feels familiar, fear disappears. Dictation creates familiarity. You hear the same structures again and again. You write them again and again. You speak them again and again. And slowly, your mind stops treating English as a foreign enemy and starts treating it as a familiar friend. And when English becomes a friend, you stop fearing mistakes. You start experimenting. You start expressing. And that is where real fluency lives, in expression, not perfection. There is another powerful benefit. Dictation improves your memory. Because you are actively processing information, your brain stores it more deeply. Passive learning fades quickly. Active learning stays longer. That is why many people forget what they study, but they remember what they practice. Now think about this carefully. If you practice dictation for just 15 minutes daily, in 1 year, you would have trained your brain for more than 90 hours of deep language processing. That is powerful. That is enough to transform your English completely, but only if you are consistent. Let me also tell you something honest. You will not see results in 1 day. You will not feel magical change in 1 session. But you will feel something subtle. You will feel awareness increasing. You will feel your ear becoming sharper. You will feel your hesitation slightly reducing. And those small changes are signs of big transformation coming. Many people quit before reaching that stage. They expect instant fluency. But language is not instant. Language is built. And dictation builds it brick by brick. Now I want you to imagine your future self. The version of you who can speak English without fear. Who can express ideas clearly. Who can communicate confidently in meetings, interviews, conversations. That version of you is not far away. It is already inside your practice. It is already inside your effort. It is just waiting for consistency. And consistency begins with one simple action. Listen, write, compare, speak, again and again. Let me give you one more example sentence you can use daily. I am becoming better with every practice session. Listen to it, write it, check it, speak it, feel it. Because learning English is not just about communication, it is about identity. When you start speaking a new language, you start expanding your world. You start thinking differently. You start seeing opportunities differently. You start believing differently. And dictation is one of the most powerful tools to unlock that transformation. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Take one sentence. Listen carefully. Write it slowly. Correct it honestly. Speak it confidently. And repeat the process tomorrow. Because if you stay with this simple habit, English will no longer be something you struggle with. It will become something you live. And one day, you will look back and realize that your fluency did not come from a big moment. It came from small, repeated moments of listening, writing, and speaking through the power of dictation. Let's go further into this journey, because understanding dictation is one thing, but living it is where real change happens.